So, what's up, folks? Again, so we're here reacting to a interesting 34-7 win. I know I kind of said it would be what a 30-point victory to some extent. It would be a 38-point victory because I originally said 48-17, but then it ended up being 34-7, so I was kind of 4 points off, but that's okay. So what did we learn from this? And it kind of sucks because ESPN hasn't updated the stats really, but that's okay. We'll get through this still. If you're watching this, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, and we'll read it off. We'll interact and everything. But if you kind of looked at it from the start to the finish, FAMU looked kind of sluggish in the beginning, and you were kind of wondering like, oh my gosh, like what's going on and stuff. But eventually, I think they kind of were starting to find a rhythm, but then the weather delay kind of hurt them a little bit, and then it kind of was like, okay, like we're going to be kind of sluggish coming out of this. And that tends to happen because, again, look, you got a freshman quarterback that started the game. Things aren't always going to go as you expect them to go with a freshman, and expect freshman mistakes along the way, and that's what you got tonight. And it happens. It happens. That comes with growing and playing the position. For those of you that have never played the quarterback position, think that's one of the hardest positions on the field to play outside of defensive back, if you ask me. But at the same time, too, I mean, there's a lot for him to take away from it and grow. The other thing, too, that I noticed was I thought Rashawn McKay did a good job stepping in. So the interesting thing about it was tonight he looked more confident in his throws. I saw at one point he stood in the pocket and just delivered under pressure while taking a hit. And I came away, I was like, okay, that's pretty legit. That's good. Like, because I'm sitting there wondering, I'm like, where was that last week? But then you got to understand too, this team hadn't really played since 2019. It's been 2 years. He likely knows what's going on, of course, and that proved to be the truth tonight. But I think the week before it was just nerves and everything and the emotions of the game, which a lot of people don't take into consideration. But that's how you expect him to bounce back, and you expect him to be QB1. That's what you expect to see. And I think he can only get better from here. I think the whole QB room can get better from here. I would like to see Cameron Sapp start a game, honestly, but that is what you like to see from quarterback play. Gradual, getting better week by week by week. Now, with South Florida coming up next week, I know a lot of people were saying, this is a possible upset to keep an eye on, and they didn't look too good against Florida today. But give or take, also, too, Florida is not that good either. But eh, depending on how these first two games went, would have determined how I felt about going into the USF game. And I can honestly say, like, I want to see that game be close, but as it stands right now, I don't know if that game will actually end up being as close as I'm hoping it will be. I do think that next week might be the time when USF is able to find a rhythm and get into a groove and possibly snatch their first win of the season. And I think it might end up being a really, really huge wake up call for FAMU and something they can take away and learn from. Now, if they go out there and win, then hey, they go out there and win next week. But that's just my take of it. Yeah, feel free to comment and chime in and stuff and everything. Also, too, tonight, one thing I did enjoy seeing was I loved the fact that when I said earlier the players to watch would be the wide receiving core. That wide receiving core stepped up in a big way tonight, and they delivered. They had to, as a unit, they had over 100 yards, especially on a lot of those short button hook routes, short comeback routes that they were able to get off of defenders and turn into 20-yard runs. And then the defense tonight, 3 turnovers tonight. Well, really, 4 if you count the fumble, but 3 turnovers tonight. And what one of them went back for a touchdown. Two of them were pretty nice returns that eventually turned into scores. So the defense is as good as advertised still. They gave up 1 touchdown tonight. They've only given up 14 points in the last 2 games. That's pretty legit. A lot of people are gonna say, "Oh, well, they gave up 14 points in 2 games." That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm gonna say it like this: Alabama hasn't done that, not this season. I'm not trying to say FAMU's defense is better than Alabama's, but it's saying something when your defense only gives up 2 touchdowns in 2 weeks. It's pretty good. FAMU has a defense. They have a pretty legit defense. And then the kicking game is better than advertised, if you ask me. Why? You have a kicker in Jose Romero Martinez to go along with Chris Fadul. You have a legit punter that knows how to cough the corner kicks or even rugby style kick. And then you've got a kicker that really, hell, just crossed the 50. And then you're set from there. That's what you have. And that those little tidbits like that, like having a kicker and a punter that can flip the field, wins you football games. Those types of plays can win you the close football games. And I will also say too, if Rashawn McKay can be a game manager, this team is going to win a lot of football games. Let the running game get going. I know a lot of people are saying Terrell Jennings is slowly working his way back into game shape, but dude, hey, when he gets into game shape and finds the rhythm and heats up the same way Bishop Bonnet heated up tonight, look out. And I think honestly too, from what you saw at the end of the game from Eddie Tillman, I think he laid claim to honestly working his way into that running back by committee. I know Coach Simmons said they're waiting on Blake Simpson to come back from an injury. And then you also got DeAndre Francis, the true freshman from Rickards. Also, so I mean, look, that back by committee backfield, that is scary. That is very scary because now seeing all these guys, you got the perfect blend of power, speed, agility, home run hitters. If all of these guys can get in a rhythm at the same time at some point and heat up, or even if even 3 are up and 2 are down one week, you can keep rotating these guys in, keeping these guys fresh. Most of these guys, it's obvious they can catch out of the backfield, especially DeAndre Francis and Bishop Bonnet. Look out, like that there is you see the greatness. You see it. But they haven't necessarily, I want to say, evolved into that final form. Kind of like, I forget what the name of that TV show was, where it's like, this isn't even my final form. I forget what cartoon that was. But you see it right before you. And I think that's what that's kind of like the tale of two halves. Because in the first half, it was kind of shaky. It was very shaky. The potential was there, but it was kind of shaky. In the second half, once they got on the roll, look out. Oh, we have a comment. Oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong spot for the comments. Oh my goodness. Audio crisp. Um, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Even if you have any more comments, guys, leave your comments in the comment section. I have my thing on the private chat on accident. I did not have it on the comments. So yeah, by all means, leave comments in the comment section. Thank you though. The audio's crisp. Appreciate it. We try our best here. Um, my gosh, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, that's basically sound the gist of it, in my opinion. I would like to see Cameron Sapp start a game though. I think because now we've seen Junior Maradovic get play his play his piece. We've seen Rashawn McKay now that he's calm, cool, and collected, and he's able to deliver and make passes. He looks like he can develop into something as the weeks progress. And I think it's just, getting up to game speed. I think once the game really slows down for Rashawn McKay, look out. And I think that's why this next week, for all these quarterbacks, I think all three of them play next week, regardless of what happens. That's why I think next week against USF, you're going to see all three. But at the same time, too, seeing how fast going against an FBS opponent will be very beneficial. I know a lot of people want to say, well, USF sucks and everything like that, and that is true because they ain't winning the war on I-4 this year. That's still an FBS team. They still carry more guys on their roster. They have more. They're gonna have more rotations. Their fans they showed up today for Florida. They're gonna show up again for FAMU. Why? They want to see the band and they want to see USF try to get their first victory. That's really gonna be what it is. But I also know FAMU fans are going to show up. I know they are. Trust me, Raymond James has a history of opposing opponents taking over the stadium. Trust me. Hopefully I can get Flash on next week to kind of break that game down with me. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the conference play, honestly. I think USF, like I said, will get FAMU ready for conference play. The bye week will help much too after the USF game. So there's a lot of factors there. You're going to see a lot of growth, and that's what this point of the season is right now. I think this point of the season, outside of the Jackson State game, is a time for growth, going from Fort Valley to USF into the bye week, and then into South Carolina State and Alabama State, and with the first 2 weeks of what I call the second season coming out of the bye week is. So you're going to see growth. And really all I'm looking for next week against USF is how do you come out? Do you come out and do you try to hit USF in the mouth, which is possible? If you come out and you hit USF in the mouth, you never know. They might back down, they might fold. Their offense isn't anything special in itself either. Your defense is good enough to make plays against USF's offense. North Carolina State showed it. Florida showed it today. You can make plays on USF's offense if given the opportunity. It's very much possible. I mean, that's my takeaway from it. Once again, FAMU wins 34-7. FAMU is now 1-1 on the season. They'll be heading down to Tampa to look for 2-1 on the season. So we'll see what happens there. And actually, here's the other thing too that I wanted to hit on in the pregame, but I didn't because it just slipped my mind. How about FAMU though, as just the university in general, on television, on national television, 3 times in 1 week? Orange Blossom Classic, First Take, and then on NBC, and it maybe even maybe NFL Network. I think that pregame show that NFL Network was talking about for the NFL kickoff. Who knows? But you're on 2 nationally televised networks in 1 week. That says a lot about the national brand that is FAMU and the fact that people want to see it. That says a whole lot. And that's a huge step in the right direction of where this university is going, where this athletics department is going, in my opinion. So kudos to them because look, hey, you got little kids that saw that concert choir, gospel choir. But to be politically correct, it was the concert choir. But little kids in Tampa and around the country, they see that and they think to themselves, that school's pretty cool. I want to go visit that. I want to go check that out. Or I want to apply there and I want to go there. That's what that is. And I know a lot of other places might not like to hear that, but that's part of the reason why FAMU came to the SWAC. FAMU is a moneymaker, whether some people may like them or hate them. FAMU's a moneymaker. FAMU's a national brand. That's the one thing that Coach Black told us when we interviewed him on the Running Gun podcast. What makes FAMU so different from other HBCUs? And he basically said, going somewhere and seeing that rattlesnake head and people recognizing it and the expectation. That's what it is. So that's just something to think about, after having seen the concert choir on NBC and then seeing FAMU twice on ESPN with the Jackson State game and then First Take. That's just a little bit of a takeaway from all of that. But hopefully we still have some stats here. Hopefully, if ESPN's not being hard-headed, ESPN still has not released any stats, unfortunately. But I think we know who the starter is going into next week. I'm definitely counting on seeing, Rashawn McKay, Cameron Sapp, and Junior Meritovich against USF. Most definitely, though, Rashawn McKay and Cameron Sapp at some point, maybe in the first half. But, folks, as always, unfortunately, I couldn't read the stats off to you. So that's going to do it for me tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have not already, make sure you follow us on Facebook at Penalty Talk. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms, Instagram at Throw Flags, Twitter at Penalty Talk. If you're watching us on Twitter, make sure you follow us on all these other social media platforms. We do have Instagram. We got like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Let's build it up. To the people that are viewing this, I know we got up to 8 people at one point. Go tell a friend, and then you go tell a friend. I'm back on Wednesday night for the Running Gun podcast. I believe we'll have FAMU women's track coach, Coach Nadia Pompey. I believe her name. Yes, that's her name. We'll have her on Wednesday night. Tuesday night, make sure y'all tune into the Last Give podcast as well. Got a lot of fun reaction for y'all for that episode, NFL reaction, college football reaction, NBA reaction. Those of you that are interested in hockey, we got that too. Hockey's a pretty interesting sport. You should check it out, trust me. But as always, that's going to do it for us, or for me. Y'all take care. Y'all have a nice, safe weekend. Enjoy the NFL games tomorrow. I know my team already won, as you can see back there behind me. So I'm just chilling, watching these other games. But as always, stay safe, stay blessed. We'll see you next week around the same time to break down FAMU and USF. Stay safe.